Hi, everybody. How are you this week? My name is Jenny. I'm coming to you from the Unexpected Guest on Ngunnawal country. This week's belief changer that we listened to in our Kahau session was from a very inspiring woman who was working with some difficult situations, as most First Nations businesses are, or First Nations people are actually, as a collective group throughout the world. And her name is Jacey Meyers. Jacey is such a calm woman who is very focused around working in community at all different levels of right to the government, and how we can actually take control of our own destiny rather than waiting for government to say it's okay. Jacey's conversation actually really did resonate with a lot of what we're experiencing here in Australia, and that is who has ownership of this knowledge that we all have within us, and all our communities have. Who has not ownership of this knowledge, and how do we take back the ownership of the knowledge that is so important to our culture, to our identity, to our well-being, to our sense of self-determination. And from her discussions, I really got a lot from that, meaning that we're all traveling along the same journey in some senses, to trying to overcome what colonization has actually done to us as a people, and how we can continue to empower ourselves if we don't own that information, if we don't have control of our cultural knowledge, and how do we put systems in place to ensure that can be attained, I suppose. It really resonated with me when I went to kept coming back to me in terms of the food industry and what we're doing here, and trying to access those botanicals that seem to be taken over by so many different people now. And when we had the First Nations food symposium in Sydney a couple of years ago now, before COVID, and the discussion around, well, who has the ownership of the seeds of those products? First Nations people aren't, don't have the ownership of those seeds because we don't own the land, like it's those sorts of things that hit me from her discussion. The ownership, who owns that knowledge, and how do we make sure that we protect that knowledge again, and keep it within our lands. So much information to think about in terms of we as First Nations people in Australia as well. Lots of reflective thoughts from her discussion. Thank you so much for your time, Jacey. And again, thank you, Kahau, for introducing us to a like-minded woman. Take care.